Hello, hello, how's it going? I hope your day is going swimmingly. I'm having an awesome day. I wanted to come on here and share with you because you know what? It is time to update this makeup bag. I have jumped into another project pan called the Take Me Into 2019 Project Pan started by Abby, or Make Life Your Runway. So I'm going to go on and link the intro in the card above and the description box below, as well as links to Abby's channel and her video, because that is kind of going to be where I talk about the eyeshadows I'm phasing in and lip products, everything in this look that I'm currently wearing. I'm planning on finishing before the end of the year. So, but I still wanted to run you through kind of what's going on with the rest of my makeup, because I feel like I'm finally getting a concentrated effort in moving my backup stash along. So, whoo! Awesome, awesome feeling. However, that has brought about like a whole nother host of things to talk about. So comment below if you're interested in this, but I've had a lot of insights on realizing what I want from my makeup collection, realizing like how much things cost, and just like, it's a video for another time, another place, not in this video, but I'm just like, I feel like makeup's gotten stupidly expensive. Am I the only one? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, I feel like there are two extremes with makeup, like being on the PR side of things where you kind of, it's easy to get sucked into the, you know, the love of things and kind of forget how much it costs. But then I feel like we can also do that in the project painting community, because we get out of the habit of buying makeup. And I know I'm experiencing quite a bit of sticker shock every time I go and buy makeup, because I'm like, seriously, really? When did, you know, primer become acceptable to pay $40? When did it become acceptable to pay, you know, $48 for a bronzer? I mean, just kind of throwing it out there. I don't know, like I said, another time, another place, but I really just kind of, I think I finally hit my I don't know, maybe my wall of like finally figuring out things with my collection. Anyways, let's get to the makeup bag. So I was able to finish quite a bit of makeup last month. So the first thing I finished was my, actually let's talk, well, we'll talk foundation first. So I have had quite a backup stash with this Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation for quite some time, because this has been my favorite drugstore foundation and Maybelline decided to discontinue it. So boo, not thrilled about that. However, that being said, I am excited because I have finally cleared the rest of my backup stash, because after finishing this tube, this is my last one. So I am savoring it. I'm enjoying it. I will be sad to see it go, but at the same time, I'm doing my happy dance because, like I said, I'm clearing out some space. So feels really, really good. I wear the shade Nude. And if you have another kind of a moussey texture foundation that you really love, I would really appreciate your comment telling me all about it, what it is, because I've discovered I really, really prefer kind of the mousse texture, because it's thick enough where I get the coverage I want, but then I don't have to apply so much foundation. So I think that's kind of my favorite medium in terms of looking at foundations. So I'm familiar with liquid foundations. I'm familiar with drugstore price point to high-end price point. But if you're using another brand of kind of a moussey consistency, let me know, because I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and find something that maybe could be something I love just as well as this. So then in terms of primer, I've slowly been working on, this is actually an airless pump that I bought off of Amazon. I'll go on and put it in the description box below in the bottom where I link the products. But I've tossed in tubes of the I think it's LA Colors, just silicone primer, just super easy, super affordable. Love the stuff. It fits like 2 or 3 tubes. I'm just kind of going through this because in the fall and winter, I really love just like a basic silicone primer. No muss, no fuss. I don't necessarily want to have like the super glowy skin, but I don't want my skin to look super flat. And so what I love doing with this is I take 1 pump of the primer along with 1 little squirt of the foundation, and I love the finish that it gives my skin, because it's just enough coverage, but it's not too much. And yet at the same time, my skin stays really smooth and it doesn't settle into my fine lines and pores all throughout the day. So bonus, and it still holds up because it is still hotter than hell here. And then it's gonna drop down again in the next couple of days. So what can you do? I need a makeup routine that's gonna be fairly consistent through all these changes. Then I've stepped back into an old favorite, you know, kind of a concealer routine, because I was watching Candace. Her channel is Fancy That with Candace. And she was going through this like quick streamlined makeup on the go for a mom. In her thumbnail, she's holding her newborn baby, and she's going through her routine. And so while I was watching her video, I was like, you know what? It's been a long time since I've had these, but she got me to ultimately jump over and step back into the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser for dark circles, because what she did is she took her skin tone color, I think it's in light is what she wears, and she makes the triangle under her eyes with the skin tone color, and then she goes over with the brightening concealer and then blends them together with the dampened beauty sponge. And I thought, brilliant, because I love the brightener concealer, but I don't necessarily want super bright under eyes, especially now since I'm wearing reds and oranges on my eyes for eyeshadow. Like, it's a little too much. So what I have done is I went to the store and I picked up the neutralizer color, which is like, you know, it's the easiest for most skin tones to use, and I just go through and kind of cancel out that darkness. I make the triangles and I'll take it around on other spots on my face, and then I go through on top with the brightener. I really like that combination. So that was kind of a fun find, you know, rediscover a favorite that I had years and years ago. I mean, I went through so many tubes of the brightening version that I was just like, you know what? It'd be kind of nice to, you know, kind of step back into some throwback products. You know, that would be a really fun project pan too. Like all throwback products of like when you first started your channel. I don't know, just a thought. I might do that next year. So in any case, I'm really, really loving that. And then eyeshadow primer, I'm going to go on and roll this over. This is the Milani eyeshadow primer in just the shade Nude. It's what I'm currently working on, so we're just going to go for it and continue going for it. And then powder, at first I thought about switching it out, but I've decided I kind of just want to continue on with this powder. It works, it looks really nice, it's done okay with the weather changes, so we're gonna stick with what works and not like freak out my skin, especially since we're about to drop back down in the cold temperatures for a couple of days. But this is the Clarins Everlasting Compact in the shade 107 or Beige. I really enjoy setting my foundation with this powder. I take a large fluffy e.l.f. Powder brush and just kind of lightly dust it over my skin. It does a really nice job setting my makeup, but I have noticed it depends entirely on the type of setting spray that I use if this is going to look really good or really bad. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like with the weather changing, my skin is kind of like in the middle of, I don't know if I'm dry, I don't know if I'm oily, or I don't know if today's going to be a great day. It's just kind of like all over the place. And so some days when I had my previous setting spray, my makeup would look kind of like okay. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but it would just be okay. And then now it's like looking really good. So let me talk about setting sprays, because the setting spray I finished last month was the CoverGirl Look and Lock Up Setting Spray All Day Setting Mist. I liked this initially when I first got it, but the longer I used it and the further down in the bottle I got, I wasn't so much of a fan of this. In fact, I've noticed in the last couple of weeks of using it, I mean, I really was just kind of like pushing myself to use it to move it out of my collection, but it really didn't jive with this Clarins powder. So that was kind of interesting, because I thought at first I was like, is this powder just too cakey for me to use at this time of year? Do I need to reevaluate? But then I switched to this next setting spray and they work beautifully together. So I'm pretty excited about it, and again, it's an affordable option. It is the e.l.f. Active Post-Workout Cool Down Mist. Who'd have thought? It's not necessarily a setting spray, but the finish that it gives is beautiful on the skin, because it doesn't mattify your skin, but it doesn't leave you super wet and glowy looking. It's just, everything is nice. And like I'll spray my skin, and within a few minutes after everything settles, it's really great. So I guess, I mean, a setting spray is not a setting spray is not a setting spray, because usually, I mean, I haven't really noticed a huge difference between setting spray, you know, from one brand versus another. But these two, if you're going to pick between these two brands, e.l.f. is definitely the way to go. This is really, really nice. The sprayer is a little bit aggressive, so make sure that you hold it back you know, from your face, especially if you're worried about your mascara running or eyeliner, because I know that's a concern for me, but this is really, really awesome. So I highly, highly recommend that. Then in terms of the other things that I'm rotating in, I finished a couple of mascaras. The first off, I've been using the CoverGirl Lash Blast Amplifying Primer. You can see it's a hot mess from being in my makeup bag. This is really, really nice. It does do a great job of giving me some boost to my lashes before I apply mascara. It has the same CoverGirl wand as the other mascaras. If you like the orange tube or the, is it the purple tube? It just has those silicone bristles. It's really, really easy. I like using it on my upper and lower lash lines. So I have another tube that I've already phased in since I've done the 3 months with this tube. And then mascara, I finally finished. It was the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara. I tried a couple other things in between, like I had a Wet n Wild mascara. That was not something I was a fan of. I ended up pitching it because my eyes got really itchy and watery. It didn't volumize my lashes. They just kind of laid straight. It was just not working for me. I had an Almay mascara that I phased in. That was a hot mess. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. My lashes just kind of went splayed all over the place. And so I've gone in my backup stash and I've pulled out my little sample size of Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara since it's similar to the L'Oreal. And so we're going through this. I like it. It's not spectacular, but I do enjoy it. I'm going to go on and go through it. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, I've really been going through blue mascaras, and so I finally finished my Hard Candy Be Bold Color Mascara. I really, really enjoy this. It has kind of a bright blue. I use this to brighten my eyes, especially since I've been wearing the red eyeshadow. It makes it a whole lot more flattering for me to wear instead of just being like a giant swollen, you know, spot on my eye, because it can tend to look like that if I'm not careful. But this really helps to kind of tone it down. And so since I wasn't at Walmart when I needed to pick up a new tube of mascara, I ended up just picking up a tube of the L'Oreal Voluminous Original Mascara in blue. This is not as, I actually like the Hard Candy better. So in terms of colored mascara, I would definitely go with this. I mean, it's not bad, but I definitely prefer this, but I'm going to go on and use this tube of mascara and just kind of get through it, you know what I mean? Then eyebrow pencils. I finished a CoverGirl Soft Brown Ultrafine Brow Pencil. I really, really enjoyed this. In fact, I enjoyed it so much, I went back and I purchased another one. So I'm currently working on this one. And I've realized with these micro brow pencils, I can pretty much get through one of those a month. And so I'm thinking I'm going to stick with the drugstore price point because I do have thicker brows to kind of fill in. So drugstore brow products are the way to go. I really like the Maybelline one, and I really like the CoverGirl. And then Maybelline has a really nice micro brow pencil, and then Almay actually has a decent one. So maybe I need to do like a battle of the brow pencils kind of thing. And then I forgot to add this in, but this is a recent purchase I picked up. I've really been kind of itching for this for a while. It is the Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. I haven't had it in my collection for a long time, and I just decided finally, like, I was kind of unhappy with the mascara combo when I was going through the Wet n Wild one and the Almay one and going through the rest of the Lash Paradise, and I was just like, forget it. I want to just get an easy mascara that I don't have to think about, that I know is going to work, and that isn't going to make my bottom lash line look like spider legs. Like, that's just not the goal I'm going for. So I went and picked this up. I'm happy to have it again. I'm going through and I'm wearing it on my lower lash line, and then I top it with a little bit of the blue mascara to tie it into my lower lash line, and I really like that combination, so we're going to keep rotating this in my collection. I was also able to finish a blue eyeliner. This was the Maybelline Lasting Drama liner in the shade Lustrous Sapphire. I've gotten to the point where I cannot sharpen it anymore, so I have replaced it with a L'Oreal Infallible pencil in the shade Cobalt Blue. They are the exact same color. I prefer this formula to the L'Oreal, but I have been unable to locate another pencil like this in store, whether I go to Target, CVS, Walgreens, Ulta, and I didn't want to have to necessarily go online and wait a couple of days, so I went on and just picked up this L'Oreal Infallible pencil when I saw it in the store. But it's okay, it's just not as pigmented and smooth as that Maybelline pencil, so we're gonna see how long it takes me to get through this. Then nude liner. I originally started off the month of October using the Maybelline Lasting Drama liner in the nude version of that pencil. I did not like that on my waterline. My eyes itched every day. They teared up every day. Like, I love these on my lower lash line. I love them on my upper lash line. The waterline is a no-go. No-go for me. So, all right, next we're going to talk about waterline, because I started off the month of October. I was using another one of the Maybelline Lasting Drama waterproof gel eyeliners in the nude shade. I don't remember specifically what it was. I did not like that in my waterline at all. It didn't stay very well, and even from the first time of putting it on my waterline, my eyes would water and itch. And so I love this formula on my upper and lower lash lines, but in the waterline, it is a no-go for me. And so when I was at Walgreens, I was shopping around for a nude liner, because it is something that I appreciate on an everyday basis to really brighten up my eyes with my hooded lids. And so I went by the NYX kiosk, because I've had a lot of success with the NYX Wonder pencil in the past. So I went on and picked up another pencil, and I have this shade Light or Claire. It's not anything that is like outstanding, you know, like holy grail status, but this is a really nice waterline pencil. It stays fairly well during the day, and I'm appreciating the fact that I was able to find it, because that Maybelline pencil was just no in my waterline. I also pulled out a couple of other things, because I am shifting my makeup a little bit. So like I said, if you're interested in seeing where I'm going with my eyeshadow and things like that, go on and check out that Take Me Into 2019 Project Pan, because I will describe all the things in there that I'm kind of going for. But I did pull in a couple of extra things just to give me a little bit of option, because I am going to film a couple more get ready with me's to kind of shake up my routine a little bit. So in terms of eyeshadow bases, I'm still going through with my NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencil in Milk, because it's a stock item. I mean, it's just an easy go-to, done. It really boosts up my highlighter shade. I love it. It's a product that I've gone through so many pencils through the years, and I'm not going to stop using it, because it is a fabulous, fabulous makeup item to have. However, that being said, I also pulled out, this is a purchase I made months and months ago, back when I was going through the shade Rewind, because I really kind of wanted to shake up how I'd wear red eyeshadows. So I decided to pull it out to give me some options where I can continue wearing the lip color and the blush color and have my makeup be cohesive. This is the NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencil in the shade Rust, and really it's about the same color as the Kat Von D Raw Power shadow that I'm using, or if you have Kat Von D's Rewind from the Mi Vida Loca palette. So we're just going to go through it. If I want to wear it on my lid, this is going to be a nice option, or if I want to just do something a little bit different, maybe wear it as a liner, I've got this, because I'm kind of branching out. Like, I'm wearing a lot of warm tones for the fall and winter, because I'm really trying hard to finish this makeup off. But I also have a couple of like fall and winter inspired tops and things that really just don't match with the red eyeshadow. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more versatility to go into other things and be able to still kind of incorporate the same makeup, so that way I can make it very, very wearable and approachable on an everyday basis. That being said, I also pulled in a couple of other eyeliners. The first off is the Revlon Color Stay Cream Gel pencil in the shade Cashmere Plum. I stumbled on this, and the reason I picked it up is because I've really been working hard to kind of figure out the shade Rowdy from the Anastasia Subculture palette. And I've realized, like, I like it smoked out in my outer corner, but it's kind of a muddy shade. And so with this color, it actually works brilliantly as a liner. So I use this on my upper lash line on the days that I don't want to wear the red eyeshadow, or on my lower lash line, and then I set it with Rowdy from my Subculture palette, which is that really intense plum shade that's on the bottom right corner on the second row, and I really, really like that combination. So I figured that would give me a little bit of a zest and get me back into my makeup and kind of shake up my routine for a little bit. And then also I pulled out two green liners, because I was thinking of bringing in the green on my lower lash line even when I'm wearing the red eyeshadow, to kind of give me a little bit more of a fall vibe, kind of olive tone to the look, kind of a grungy, swampy vibe, because I have a couple of other things that I'm going to be incorporating for Get Ready With Me. In fact, I forgot that ColourPop shadow. So the liners that I've pulled out have been my Clinique Quick Liner for eyes in Intense Ivy. This is a longtime favorite for me. It's just a really easy kind of a forest green color. And it looks really, really pretty with the red, as you can see. That's the Intense Ivy over here. And so even when I'm wearing reds and oranges on my eyes, it actually works quite well to wear green on the lower lash line. And then that gives me an opportunity to go in with Lemmy. I think Lemmy is the deep green shade from the Kat Von D palette. I'm not completely sure right now because it's been a while since I've had it. But then the other one is this Maybelline Lasting Drama pencil in the shade Glossy Emerald. I feel like this is probably a little too Christmassy mixed with the red, but as we get closer to December, I think that I'm going to get a lot of use out of this, because the other thing I was thinking of doing is creating like a silver green holiday kind of inspired look using that deep forest green from the Kat Von D palette and then the silver from my Lorac Pro 2 palette. So that'll give me another option for some holiday makeup, seeing as I'm going to be panning the red stuff until the end of December. And then the ColourPop shadows I wanted to talk about. This one I pulled out. This is the ColourPop Super Shock shadow in the shade Isa. I thought this would be really pretty because, you know what, it brings out a lot of the red tones of the Raw Power shade. And so I was thinking of wearing the Rush shade on my lid, going over it with the Raw Power, and then wearing this shade in the crease. It's really, really pretty. Or maybe even do this on the lid and then run in with that red in the crease area. So I kind of wanted to get a little bit of use out of this shadow. It's still in pretty good condition. It hasn't dried out, but I definitely need to get a move on and use these a little bit more frequently. Because not gonna lie, like ColourPop, the Super Shock shadows, they're not my favorite formula, probably because I've struggled a little bit to figure out the best way that works for me to apply them. So I was watching Heather's video, love Heatherette, and she was talking about how she uses sponge tip applicators to apply it. So I went to CVS and picked up a box of sponge tip applicators from the brand Beauty 360, and I'm going to want to try this out with the ColourPop shadow to see if I like that method a little bit better, and that way it'll give me some more versatility with these. And then the other shade I brought out is another Super Shock shadow in the shade Telepathy. I really, really love this shade. It's like a perfect grungy, greeny gold, and I thought that would be pretty not only with the red eyeshadow, but I was also thinking of doing like a blue and green look as well. So that's Telepathy over here. And now that Ulta carries the Super Shock shadows in store, Telepathy was one of the ones I noticed out on the shelf. So if you're wanting kind of a unique color for your collection, this is definitely something that is a little bit thinking outside the box, because I don't see a gold with this much green in it in palettes or singles. Normally, usually you get like a straight gold or something like that's more of a warmer gold, but this has just the slightest little bit of green to it. So kind of a fun shade if you're wanting to shake up your routine a little bit. And then lastly, bronzer I'm going on. I should have thrown this into that project pan, but I've tossed in my Too Faced sample of the Chocolate Soleil bronzer because I have hit pan on this, and so I'm going to see if I can finish this by the end of November. I think I'll finish it long before December, but I'm just tossing that in. So other than that, everything's kind of a rollover. I've got a couple of MAC Whirl lip liners that I'm finishing off because they're just the littlest nubs of pencils. I have this one. I've got this one. This is pitiful. Really, really pitiful. I have these two tiny little nubs of pencils that are almost done, and then I've got one more in my purse, so I'm going to be working on that. And then if I want to, I'm going to bring in some berry lips and all that, but you'll see that in the Get Ready With Me's coming up. So like I said, don't forget to check out that Take Me Into 2019 Project Pan. You'll see what I'm doing with my eyeshadow, my lip colors, my cheek color, and all that. And that about wraps it up. I hope that you are having just as much fun shopping your stash and enjoying your products. Be on the lookout. I have some more videos coming your way, and like I said, that takes care of it for now. So take care, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. See you later.